Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back with my trade journal for the week of 5/18 to 5/25. This was last week. I'm a little late getting to it this week. It was Memorial Day weekend and markets were closed on Monday. And I don't trade on the weekends, or at least I don't open trades on the weekends. So took a little time off and it was very nice, just getting back into the swing of things. And so I'm recapping last week. It was a pretty good week, I gotta say. My win rate, including scratch wins, was 57%. My win rate removing scratch wins was only 14%. I took 14 trades, which honestly is way too many. I need to figure out how to limit that in some way or put some guardrails on how many trades I'm taking. But I walked away with 6.2 realized R for last week, so really awesome week. You know, as Trader XO says, like, if you can squeeze 2 to 3 R a week, you are crushing it, and you'll have a good career, and that's just what I'm trying to target. So anytime I'm above that, I'm very happy. Getting down into more of the details here, I really want to emphasize like how there's really a Pareto principle with trading. My biggest winner was BONK, which was 4.5 R realized, and that made up 70% of my entire week. So if I didn't take that trade, it would be a much, much, much different week. But it just goes to show you that it really can make all the difference. So let's get into more of these details. So I break my trades into 3 different categories. The first is full win to target, meaning I full TP'd at the target that I originally drew up, and I did not cut it early. The second one is called scratch wins, which means I simply just cut it early in profit, meaning I didn't reach my final target, but something invalidated me in the trade, and I got out before it was in loss. The third category is scratch loss, meaning I cut it early for a loss, but I didn't get fully stopped out or liquidated on the position. I realized something wasn't right, and I cut it early. And let's go through each category, and we can just talk about these things, and then I'll pull up TradingView, and we can look at some of these charts. But again, BONK, 4.5, biggest trade. I was able to get a full position size in here. So 1.0 R, I was able to get in. So I was very happy about that trade. I took a so long. I was able to get 1.4 R out of it, but I only got half a position size in it. So again, if I had gotten my full size in, I would have been at 2.8, which would have been kind of nice. But it's just something I need to work on. Like this, I shouldn't have let this move away from my entry without at least adding the other position size in there. So that's something I need to reflect on. And again, my win rate was only 14%. So it goes to show you, like, you don't need a high win rate to make money in this game. I mean, this is a full target win rate, which was 2 out of 14 trades. When you add in all my scratches, which were in profit, then it gets up to 57%. But really, these aren't really that significant. But let's get into these. There's not a lot to really dig into here besides I made a big mistake, honestly, and I would have had a much bigger week if I had held on to these 3 trades. So these were scratch wins. Fartcoin, I was able to only use half a position size, but get 1.5 R out of it. So that would have been a 3 R trade if I had the full amount, and it would have been much, 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 much more if I'd held on to it. But again, what I want to focus on is first, I did not get full position sizes into these. I really, really, really should have, as they were going away from target. Had a market order or a stop limit order higher to ensure that I was getting more size on these winners as they move away from my invalidation zone. and then obviously my profits would have been higher. But the reason I wanted to flag these as well is I cut, it wasn't Solana, it was Fartcoin, Hype, and it was Sui here. So let's just say that one. So these three, I cut early because of the Israel attacking Iran news. I was at my computer when that dropped, and it hadn't really been in the headlines for a long time. So I was a little surprised when I saw it in the headlines, and my mind immediately went to, oh, how are the public markets going to react to this, or how are equity markets going to react to this when it opens? Because this was after hours, whenever it dropped. And I was like, oh my God, I just want to take these profits because it wasn't nothing. Between all of them, it's more than 2R. And I sold it. And there really wasn't any type of like price invalidation on that, which was a huge mistake. I should have waited and seen how price reacted to that news before selling. And I would have made a lot more money if I had just held on to it. So it's something I need to work on. The takeaway is let price invalidate the trade. Don't let any type of news or jitters invalidate the trade. So there's something I need to work on. Always something to improve upon. And the other one I want to talk about was all of these ones down here that I said I oversized on. So these ones. So the way that I've been trading recently that's brought me a lot of success is this whole concept of scratch loss, meaning that pretty much if it goes against me at the beginning of the trade, I'll just cut it. And you'll see I'm losing anywhere between 0.2 and 0.8 of an R on these trades. Ideally, I want it to be less than 0.33, so I don't want to lose more than a third of a trade on the position. And so I was only able to do that there, and this would be less than 0.33, I'm pretty sure. So I'm 2 for 6 here on only losing 0.3. And the reason, so that's one thing that I need to work on. So all of these I need to work on in that regard. It's just getting out faster. The other thing I'm a little upset about is there's a bunch of these that I had a full position size in, and then they came around and invalidated me. I need to get better about having I don't even need to pull up anything else. I can just draw right here. So let's say this is my entry, and enter here, and your stop loss is down here. I need to, and I like trades that look like this. I need to enter here, right here, and then I need to enter again maybe as the price is moving away. So then your blended entry is like here, and then this keeps going. So this is the ideal scenario that I drew out here. What I was doing is more so, and maybe I can just, yeah. Okay, so I was entering here, same example, boom, 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 price goes here, and then it would be like this, and I'd be like, all right, screw it, enter again, and then it would do this, and then I would cut it. I would cut it like here before it gets to the stop loss. And I think this is losing philosophy because you're sizing up and you're not sure the trade is 100% going to go in your favor yet. So if you enter more as price is moving away, yes, your entry isn't as good, but you're increasing your statistical probability that it's going to move in the direction that you want and reach your target. I think Trading Horse says this. It's like your entries don't really matter. It's all about your exits. And the more and more I trade and the better trader I've gotten, the more I realize that's true. It's like, who cares if you enter here and you enter here and your price is here? Like in the grand scheme of things, it's like if you shave off half an R doing that or a third of an R, whatever, but you're increasing your win rate up here by 5-10%, it's making a huge difference in your overall performance. I mean, you have to do the numbers, but at least I'm noticing this for me, because like if I had in 1, 2, 3, 4 of these trades, reduced these in half. Just doing the math for 0.7, 0.9. Yeah, I would have saved an R. I would have saved more than an R if I had cut these. These were half of the size. And look, you're going to take losses. Like, trading is all about that. I mean, this summary here is proof that it's a lot of losses. Trading is a lot of losses. But I hope this was helpful. Let's see. I don't want to take up too much time here, but maybe we can look at some of my my trades. And I actually have been getting good about kind of like live journaling my trading process in this Discord, which I've created with some friends called Academy. So it was here 5:21, 11:26 a.m. I said, Sol and Fartcoin were ripping, so BONK was the lagger here. I said I want to bid more beta. I thought this setup looked really, really solid. This is what I drew up. As I said, like, I have this concept of, like, if price moves against me after it goes in my direct favor and then out of my favor, and it goes too much against me, I'll just cut it and then I'll wait. And if it goes back in my favor, I'll get in again. That's the whole concept of scratch losses. So this is the line. And if you move in on the lower time frames, you can kind of see why I put it there. But this was the trade idea. What was I thinking? Break out of the range. And yeah, I simply was just going to target these wicks. And I think I literally was targeting this little one right here. And I think that's not too far of where price ended up. I commented that it wasn't the cleanest chart. It's true. BONK is very, very choppy. Oh yeah, and look, I had a scratch loss on this, which I had on the prior page. So the first one was just a massive pump wick, and I didn't get in here. And I missed it, and I said, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. And then, if you remember, there was a big liquidation move, and this was my invalidation candle. And so it came down, and I, either here or around here, I cut it. And so I said, okay, this was only a half position size. Actually, no, sorry. I think this was actually a full position size. And this was me. As I said earlier, I shouldn't have done it like this. I should have taken a half position size and then waited for it to move higher to take the other half. So this is where I was like, everyone was getting so confident and everyone was saying, oh, alt season. This was, middle of the day on the 21st of May. So you can check the timestamps. But then I said, okay, I want to get back in. Tighter stop because it actually gave me a little bit. So I think my stop was down here originally, but then it gave me this nice touch on that blue line is the 200 daily moving average. And, I was seeing nice volume. I was seeing this is Z-score, meaning like, where is price moving on a 20 period basis? Is it moving up or is it moving down? It's just a kind of a good way to see if we're expanding and moving higher or lower. And in my opinion, when you see it get overheated many times on these lower time frames, like 15 minutes, that's bullish. So it's getting overheated without getting underheated. I was like, oh, this wants to go higher. So that was just, confluence here. I like the price action. This is the level I've been, watching. Great place to hide a stop. Good invalidation. And then boom. And so this was where I finally wisened up a little bit. So I took a position here. I think I set a stop limit order that said, okay, if price goes higher than this wick and retests again, get in again. So I think that's a good way to use a stop limit order. So then I had a full position size. And then I said, okay, I'm using my 15-minute cloud as invalidation, which is this little thing. It's just a custom indicator that I have made with a friend. And it is a combination of moving averages and super trends. It's custom that I have made. But it's very tight. You obviously have to find the right trend. So I thought 15-minute worked pretty well on here, but it looked very good on that move up, and I figured it would be good on this as well. So it didn't happen all in one day. So this is the next day, or sorry, this is one day. This is the next day. Touching the trend. I was hoping things would pick up. This kind of went up, and then these momentum oscillators went down. And then there was a lot of chop. And this simply just means people are trying to figure out what they're going to do with this position. big buyers are buying and then selling, buying and selling. And this wick, I was kind of like, oh my God, there's a ton of selling, a ton of buying. The Z-score goes insane. So that's super volatility down, super volatility up. I was like, all right, I think this is going to rip. And then boom, it just takes off. And I think it sold in my sleep. Yeah, and this is actually what it looked like. So, boom. Someone must have put a huge slug in market bought that and blown that price up, letting everyone exit nicely up here. And if you look at this now, I think it's done a ton of retracing. Yeah, and I think it's actually like down here now. So I it doesn't always happen, but it looks like I sold the top, at least for this rotation. And as you can see here, I basically was like, okay, I would love to buy this again. The stop loss was kind of a joke, or like at least illustrative, because I wouldn't have a stop that big. But again, flipping this level, Bonk's going to do another move. And then I think I ended this thread as saying like, okay, I actually don't know what this is going to do, but I think it might chop around, which is actually what it's done. So this was BONK, which was the winner. And then the other winner I had is in the same channel here, Solana. So let's go. And I actually really love this kind of method of journaling my thoughts and my trades in the Academy, which is free to join for anyone who wants to join, by the way. The link is in my bio, as they say. So what was I saying here? This is actually before the BONK trade. Same setup as Hype. So this is where I actually originally wanted to take it. So this is down at 162, stop below structure, boom, send it up to the next level. So this is just kind of like 160s to 170. And the idea was right, but we never got the retest, which kind of shows you sometimes like you just have to be willing to market order as price moves away. And this would have worked out beautifully. Didn't take this trade, didn't even scratch win, scratch loss on it, just didn't get filled there. So this would have hit my level. I think that was at least 2R. But then I said I'm looking to get back in. So this was the move up, and then it retraced kind of nicely here. And I said, okay, the next one I want to hide stop below here. Flip the level, boom, target the range highs. And yeah, I filled. Let's see what happened. Oh yeah, and then I cut it here. So I took a scratch here. And this is the same thing as BONK earlier that I showed everyone, where it had that really nasty move and took a lot of people out. So, I didn't take the full loss here. I got out around the red line. And then I waited. I said, hey, okay. And then obviously it got much nastier there. So I'm glad I took it. I got out when I did. But it gave me a really great place to put my stop loss. So I think I actually moved my stop up a little bit and said, okay, same trade. I think we just flushed everyone out. Huge volume capitulation wick. We're starting to uptrend on the Z-score oscillator, and we can target range highs. Same trade. Seems like people want it. And then this is the problem. I only got half the position in, and then I wasn't able to get another half. I think this happened so quickly. Boom, right to target. So right before this 180 level, I got out. And then, yeah, this was the trade. It was just pretty much in profit. Immediately, there was no... I mean, look, you can barely even see the drawdown. Might have been in drawdown for a minute or two. But then right to target in, what did I say? 12 hours and 8 minutes. That's pretty good. And then I wanted to do it again. So, this is kind of like, if you're a trend trader, you are holding on for these bigger moves. But again, right, like it's sometimes you're a little late to realize profit sometimes. So what I said here I was going to do was flip the next level, target the yearly open, 180 to 188. And I did get filled here actually on this. And I thought this was going to work out. I was like, oh, this is great. And I think I only did one half because this was 8:50. I didn't really want to babysit at night. I'm going to bed. This is 10:30. I thought we were going to get there. And yeah, I woke up early in the morning and I was like, oh my God, I got so close to filling this, but I missed it. And then as it came down and I lost my 15-minute cloud, I closed it. So, was very close to getting the full, whatever that is, 2R, 1.5 to 2R trade. But as soon as I was invalidated and saw this candle, I got out and I got a small win. So this is the summary. This was a full win with half size. This was a partial one with half size. I got out right there. I did not let myself get stopped out. And let's see what happens with Sol. I think these are super interesting. Let's go to actually look at TradingView. This is BONK. So this is that trade that was my best run of the week. And I mean, look, this is kind of why, I don't know. I found this whole like kind of level to level trading and getting out very quickly. It suits my style, but I think it's also just an easy way you can lock in gains and not bag hold this shit. Like, boom. And this is somewhat, I'll be honest, this is like pretty much perfect and there's somewhat luck involved here, right? That it just is so perfectly taking me out and then more than fully retracing, and now it's below my stop loss. But let's see. I mean, look, if this flipped, why wouldn't I take it again? Stop here. A little bit of a bigger stop than this one, but who cares? You've got to trade based off of the volatility, and you factor that in by your stop loss. This was a little less volatility because it's just going up. This is more volatility. You need a wider stop loss, which is a smaller position size. All right, let's talk about some of the tough ones. So really, these were the big UPNL or PNL losses were here. Not in the sense that like I lost money, but that I cut these trades for no fucking reason, and that was stupid. So I was in on Fartcoin right here, and it was pretty perfect, and I got out like right here. And it would have gone all the way up here. That would have been a 9.45 trade. Candidly, I probably would have cut it at the range highs, but that's still a 5.5R trade, which is better than my BONK trade, and I had a full size on this. But this was me being dumb because of the Israel, Iran bombing nuclear facilities news. I just cut it. I was like, I don't want to sleep on this. It was like kind of like late at night. My wife wanted to get dinner. I was like, all right, I just can't be at the restaurant like looking at this. And sometimes that's just is what it is. Like you can't always be at your computer with your finger on the trigger. If this thing does a 15% down, you could lose a lot of money. So again, this was a missed opportunity. I knew this is just so beautiful. This move, this reclaim of this 15-minute cloud, this level being flipped, perfect, like very tight stop on this coin, and then it does a 35% move. Oh, and now it's coming right back. Like this is just tough. There's always something to learn. I mean, this would have really changed the week. And I did the same thing on hype. I actually took it once, took a small scratch win when it came back over here. So I think on this one, I entered it here and then I cut it like right there. So that really wasn't a lot. But then I entered it again right here. And then this actually sucks even worse. I think I cut it like right there. That was the Israel news. And then it just went ape. And I think my target was 32. And that actually was my target. So that was a 10R trade right there that I missed. And then it just kept going. And who knows? I mean, look, this is the level that I drew up here. Maybe this will actually hold. Maybe it'll... Looks kind of like... Who knows? Maybe retested that. I don't know. I haven't really been looking at the charts too much today. But yeah, this is just sad. Shouldn't have cut this early for no reason. It would have run. It would have been a great trade. It would have been a really great trade. But it is what it is. Opportunity is abundant. There will be plenty of trades. I'm always watching Solana, BONK, PEPE, Hype, Fartcoin, Sui. I would say those are the ones that trade the most, and Bitcoin. Yeah, that was my week. Pretty good week. Let's see. Let's go back to it. 6.2R, 14% win rate, removing scratches, 57% win rate, including scratches. I mean, look, if I could do this every single week, I'd be a very, very happy guy. But let's see. I don't know. I just the market conditions are great right now, so I'm trying to eat as much as I can while things are good. And we'll see. Hopefully, I'll improve my shorting abilities. I mean, look, I got one scratch win on my short, one scratch loss on my short. I think this was like I made like $200 on this between the two. But let's see. I don't know if we're gonna keep expanding upwards. This move has been fast and violent, and there's been really no retests. But I haven't. I imagine that if we do get a sell-off, it will potentially be equally violent and fast. But there'll be some fantastic buying opportunities if that happens. So, we go higher, things keep pumping. I keep trading like this. We go lower, maybe I load up, I take some positional spot plays, and just kind of wait my time for us to go up again. But thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.